Hey you guys, I'm Steven.
I'm Giselle.
And we're the Lover's Passport, and today we're going to talk to you guys about our experience on the Reykjavik food walk.
Just going to Iceland for the first time, this is a great tour to get you started in terms of learning the culture, the food, the history about Reykjavik and the surrounding areas. And we absolutely loved doing this food tour as our first activity to get acquainted with the whole city. And our guide was Elizabeth, and she was amazing.
She had so much energy and she was really informative and funny. I thought she was fantastic.
Yes, and then so once you get there, it is a walking tour. So make sure to wear some comfortable shoes. So the first place you go is called Fjallkonan.
So Fjallkonan is one of the most popular places by the locals. Elizabeth said when it's sunny outside and it's beautiful, the entire road, it just has tables all over it. If you guys are planning to go there on a sunny day, highly recommend making sure you get there as early as possible because it does get very busy. It's a little bit cloudy on our day, so we have to sit inside, experience the inside of it. The food was phenomenal. We both were very hungry as we went into this tour just because we knew we were going to eat at 5 different places. So don't pace yourself too much. You want to indulge, but you want to pace yourself a little bit.
I was gonna say, if you have a small appetite, you are gonna want to come in with a plan. Do not eat beforehand. I made the mistake of having like some muffins beforehand, and I was very sad about it because I couldn't eat as much as I wanted to.
At this place, they give you 2 different, or at least when we went, they gave you 2 different meat platters. One was like a small, it almost looked like shredded meat. It was very, very good.
Duck.
Yeah, it was shredded duck. It had really, really tender meat. And the other one was more from the sea. It had definitely a very fishy taste, but it still tasted great. Had nice texture to it. If you're not a fish person, I still think you would enjoy it quite a bit.
You'll notice a lot of the Icelandic restaurants do serve a lot of fish. So a lot of cod, a lot of char. If you do not eat fish, you might have a little bit of a hard time finding, you know, some meals you're gonna like. However, there are plenty of other good options as well.
So after we finished off there, we went to my favorite spot.
We both don't speak Icelandic very well, but we think it's pronounced Bjarn Betsu Pilser.
This is the best hot dog shop in all of Iceland. You're gonna want to make sure you stop there and get a hot dog with everything on it. They do their hot dogs a little bit different, so it's the bun, they put some nice crunchies under it, they put some onions, they put a beautiful, long, delicious hot dog on it.
And their hot dog meat is different than what you would expect. I think it's a mix of like...
It definitely has a lot more
meats.
lamb in it than the Americanized version. So highly recommend checking that out. And their mustard, it's brown, but it has a phenomenal taste to it.
It kind of tastes like honey mustard. It's really good though. And
yeah.
We went back there again after our food tour just because we liked them so much. Hot dogs are a very big, cheap dish around Iceland, and so if you are balling on a budget and you're doing the ring road or something, like we would go to gas stations and get hot dogs for lunch. But this hot dog place is far superior to all of those, so definitely go to the one in Reykjavik. That's what all the tour guides said too. Like that is the best spot to go for a good Icelandic hot dog.
So as soon as we finished that, we started to learn a little bit more of the history of Iceland, and we walked through the town center. We learned some really cool, interesting stories about how they outlawed alcohol for a while, which was pretty interesting to hear.
It was like until the 1980s.
Yeah, so super recent. We learned about how basalt columns, these beautiful tall columns you'll see all over Iceland, are actually built into the town as well. In the town center, if you look at this statue, they even have it on there.
Most notable spot with the basalt columns is the Hallgrímskirkja.
That is the big church you'll see in Iceland. It's beautiful during the day, also totally worth visiting at night because it has these beautiful lights.
Next up, we went to a restaurant called Messin, and this one was probably my favorite in terms of a place I would go back and have like a full dinner at. The presentation of the dishes was absolutely beautiful. The aesthetic of the restaurant, if you're going for like a nice like fish house kind of vibes with lots of like sea decor, it was just really nice and very trendy. And once we got the food, it just, chef's kiss, it solidified it. We had a couple different dishes from there.
That was probably where we had the most food. out of all the 5 different places we went. First one was almost like an appetizer. Second one was a hot dog. This one we actually had like 2 or 3 different dishes. So very, very good. We really focused on the char. The dressing that they put on top of their meat was fantastic. And then the decorations. They had like seagulls coming down. There was like anchors all over the place. There was a boat. It was very, very well designed. And the owner was super nice to meet as well.
And there we also learned about Iceland's tomatoes. Fun fact, they grow a lot of tomatoes, but they do it in greenhouses. So that was something that was really interesting to me. And the tomatoes they had on their dishes were so good. There was something special in them, I don't know. And then we walked on over to a next part of town. You got to explore the Rainbow Road, which is a popular, Instagram spot. And then we headed on over to this Icelandic bar where you get to try fermented shark and stew and lots of beer, and that was at Íslenski Baron Icelandic bar.
Yeah, that place you definitely got to try a lot of the different alcohols that Iceland has to offer. We tried a few different beers.
They also did serve a shot of Brennivin, which is a classic Icelandic alcohol. I personally did not indulge in it because I was very full, but Stephen took it, and he was also the only one that tried the fermented shark. I did not try that. So, oh, and there's also, what was it, fish jerky?
Yeah, it was very dry. Definitely wasn't my cup of tea. The fermented shark and the dried fish jerky, definitely something that you should try because it's an experience, but not something I would go back to. It almost smells, if you put your nose directly up to it and smell it, it smells exactly like ammonia. So not something that I wanted to partake in.
Hold it up. Fermented shark. All right.
No Brennivin?
Not great.
Tastes like
Anyways, after we finished off at the Icelandic bar, we made it up to our last spot on the Reykjavik food walk. It was a place called Cafe Loki, and it had this beautiful view of the church directly in the middle. We actually got to go up to a private room, and in that top area, Tom Hiddleston actually sat there. So we were in Cafe Loki with
the actor who yeah, they had a giant picture of him on the wall, and it was just funny. But you learn all about the Nordic mythology here, which is really interesting because I was a huge mythology buff back in high school, and so they tell you kind of all about Icelandic history in regards to that kind of avenue, and then you get to enjoy some delicious Icelandic coffee, which, fair warning, if you're American, it's a lot stronger than American coffee. That goes with most European coffees, honestly. And then you also got to have this Icelandic donut, and was it ice cream? It was ice cream.
We're not going to tell you the flavor of the ice cream
because it's a secret.
But it is delicious. So if you have a sweet tooth, that's definitely the spot that you're going to look to the most. And it was very, very scenic with the view and everything. And it was the perfect way to end our trip. This is one of those experiences we would highly recommend doing just so you can kind of learn the history of Reykjavik. We always say anywhere you travel, it's always good to do at least 1 or 2 tours just so you can learn how the town got started. Because walking around, seeing all the beautiful sights, you can read signs, but it's very different. You don't get to hear those personal stories about what's going on in the area like we got to learn from our tour guide.
Right, and it's really nice because we love to learn the culture of each place we're going, so having a local guide that can tell you actually where the locals go and the best things to do when you're not on your tour is always a valuable resource to have. So we definitely recommend checking out the Reykjavik food walk. Also, our guide said definitely check out Sushi Social. She also worked there. If you are looking for a nice dinner out, apparently it's a real good spot too.
You do have to make reservations pretty far in advance, she said, because it is booked every single day. Yeah. So highly recommend checking that out as well. If you don't do it the same day as the Reykjavik food walk, you're going to be way too full, but it is definitely worth the checking out. And actually, if you guys are going to book the Reykjavik food walk, we do want to help you out. We have a discount code for you. We'll link it right here. It's called Lovers Passport 10, and that'll go ahead and save you 10% off your booking.
And like we said, we 100% recommend it. After our whole travel experience getting to Iceland, where our flights got delayed 24 hours and they lost my luggage, and then this was the first thing we did, it definitely made the whole getting there experience worth it because the first day was so lovely because of this tour. So
definitely set the tone for the rest of the trip. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys missed our previous videos, we talked about our glacier tour over here, and we talked about the Blue Lagoon versus the Sky Lagoon. And we have lots more content coming up from our Iceland trip.
Yeah, so keep tuned every Friday, and if you're not already a part of the adventure family, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more adventures.
And we'll see you guys out there on the next adventure.